pleasing thing about the win today?
Just the boys' effort and attitude and mindset going into the game. I thought, especially after last week, we were pretty disappointed with our effort in the contest and our, effort to run it up and down the ground, and both defensively and offensively. And I think this week, just the mindset going into it, we did a fair bit of work during the week and to change that mindset, and it was really pleasing to see their effort today.
That mindset, was it primarily defensively focused? Because it did seem to be that a lot of that aspect there, extra numbers in defence particularly. Did you go in with that key focus, especially with what Mitch thought as a key target able to achieve last week with Devonport?
No, not necessarily. We didn't. We pushed numbers up the ground, but a lot of the time the opposition were actually taking our forwards into the defensive 50, or their offensive 50. So our boys had to go with them in case. So yeah, it did create a lot of numbers, but what that did was it created a lot of space out the back. And to our boys' credit, they were able to spread from the stoppage really well compared to last week, and they moved the ball at times pretty good up and down the ground. So it wasn't a primary focus though to fold numbers back. We had full confidence in our backline and our defence to combat Thorpe, and he's a quality player, and we put a pretty big focus on him as a defensive unit. But our defensive actions were pleasing today. So our attack on the footy, our pressure, I think Jonty Barwick did a fantastic chase down tackle on Riley through the middle of the ground, and that sort of symbolised what we were trying to do with our defensive actions.
Yeah, it must be great that your backline as a whole kept it five goals total. Tough conditions obviously, obviously it wasn't raining, it was still very playing a lot like the game, especially headiness around the centre of the ground. So defensively, to walk away from that to restrict it to 5 goals, you must be thrilled.
Yeah, look, and up until the last couple of weeks, we've been going okay defensively in terms of keeping opposition sides to a low score under 100 points. And last week was a bit disappointing in that space. Our defensive actions last week weren't great. We're still learning, and we're still learning that defence is really important, and then that transition from defence to offence is equally as important. So I thought we moved the ball really positively today, and Nick Hutchinson moved the ball out of the back line really well. Hugh Williams was a fantastic stalwart down there. I think they played a +1 in their defence, which meant that Hugh Williams was sort of loose down in our defence as well, so he was able to chop off a few marks.
Up front, Callum Dell was huge in those first 3 quarters, obviously. Go off the ground after that, he looked a bit gingerly.
Yeah, he's just got a slight sort of tight hamstring, so he came off the ground. He was a bit tight during the game, and then we just brought him off in the last little bit. We were a little bit in front, so just rest him, and we'll see how he goes during the week. And it's a big clash next week against Clarence at home, so it's important that we enjoy the win today, and it was really important for us, but we have to move very, very quickly onto Clarence, which is a big clash for us.
This was a big win for you guys. Obviously now you're equal on points with Launceston around that 5th spot. So did you focus on that going in, or is that just obviously the obvious outcome?
No, last week's outcome it created a bit of a thing where it's exciting because it's up to us, and we spoke about that after the game last week, that our next 5 games were really, really important, and we have to go week at a time and look at each week as a really important game for our group, not only in learning but also getting the win and getting the 4 points. So we can't control the percentage side of things at the moment. We're a little bit low on that, but we can control putting in the effort and the mindset around going out and getting the 4 points.
How wary were you of Devonport coming into this one? Because they obviously showed some really good signs against North Launceston last week. Coming into our home patch, did you see this as a danger game?
They've been playing some pretty positive football. They've built some confidence with a young group, and I think Thorpe's done a really good job this year in terms of being positive with the group. And I thought their last month has been really positive. Last week, their first quarter, looking at that on the tape, they played with freedom. They took the game on, and were really, really confident. So it was a little. I mean, we knew we had a tough game today coming into it, and especially after our month as well. I mean, we haven't played the best footy over the last month, but I thought today we took some great steps forward, and
Attitude, like you said, is that commitment. That's obviously big one today.
Yeah, look, just our mindset around and attitude around going in and winning the footy and being really, really tough one-on-one in the contest, but then being able to spread and take the game on in the offensive side of things. So that was the most pleasing.
Can you beat Clarence again?
Well, look, I mean, and that's that belief factor with a group, and our group. You know, we've got belief in the fact that we beat Clarence. I think they had a pretty tough game today against Glenorchy, so it's on our home deck, North Hobart Oval. So we've got everything in our favour. We've just got to bring the right effort and you know, get back to basics on Monday and really focus on the week ahead in terms of matchups and stuff like that.
Just finally, apart from any other injuries?
No, pretty good.
Thanks, mate.
Most pleasing thing is the boys didn't give in. I mean, and that's been probably pretty consistent throughout the second half of the year. Hobart City were pretty good, they were pretty sharp. But to stay in the contest, to stay in the game, to stay wanting to play, the four-quarter effort was terrific. I mean, it was 25 points in the end, and they only had 2 more scoring shots. So just a little bit of our method today on the disappointing side. We just turned the ball over a lot today. And I thought we'd got past that, but yeah, their scores from turnover just really, really hurt us. So effort, massive tick. I mean, we had a lot of sore boys today that didn't flinch, just had to go, try as hard as they could, and yeah, 25-point result. Not, you know, disappointing to lose, but we're closing the gap on everyone that we've played twice. I mean, they hammered us by 55 down there, and you know, we're starting to catch the field, which is pleasing.
You mentioned the turnover aspect. A lot of that was sort of going into attack. You just looked a bit timid at times, entering the 50. What do you put that down to? They obviously had the extra number there a lot. Was it?
Yeah, well,
That
that's why. Yeah, well, we spoke about not kicking it to me. We knew they were going to drop one off, and we wanted to pull the trigger inside to find that loose man. And a lot of our turnovers were from younger players, and that's okay. They need to experience a game where they have to try and hit those kicks, and then sometimes they only miss by a bee's dick, and the ball scoots down the other end. And I thought young Williamson for Hobart City number 4 absolutely tore us to pieces. Yeah, he got out the back and was very, very dangerous.
That's an experience thing, like I said.
Yeah.
You've got to have next time they come to that situation. And you know, you've had plenty of time in your career where you've had the extra number drop back onto you.
Yeah.
Next time these young guys come to that, they'll choose the right option.
Yeah, I think they chose the right option. I just didn't think. I don't think they executed the skill anywhere near good enough. But you need to actually play games where you try and hit those kicks and learn from it going forward. So there's still plenty of positives. We get another game of experience in together, and on the back of a 6-day break, we're knocked around a bit. But full credit to Hobart City, they jumped us somewhat early. They didn't do anything drastic. Wicket, they got 3 goals in the first quarter from free kicks inside 30 metres, which was extremely frustrating for me because we're right in the contest. But to give 3 goals from free kicks, I mean, it's tough to win games when you're doing that and turning the ball over. So.
You ran it out, you still had, especially the final quarter, you seem to have a bit more spark and energy than
Yeah, there's no lack of endeavour for any part of the game. There's just peaks and troughs of when we can hit our skills under heat and when we can't. And I mean that's just maturity. That's just maturity, and the only way you get better at that is being in those positions for longer periods. I thought we had some terrific. I thought Braden Butler today was. And Brad Simmons again were probably our 2 best players. Their effort was just unquestionable. Both sore, but just kept going to the well each contest, and I couldn't be proud of those 2 boys. Yeah, sorry, I forgot Sharon. Yeah, he was definitely our top 3 players as well, Sharon. So they're blokes that just see the contest and want to actually accelerate into the contest. They don't take a backward step or let someone else go. When they see the contest there, they actually accelerate into it, which is a pretty special trait to have, and not everyone has that.
And sharing for a kid as well is just the future of this
I
club.
probably sometimes forget how young he is and speak so highly of him to everyone else. I mean, he's a very draftable young man. If he keeps his head on his shoulders, the sky's the limit for Sharon, and the respect he's gained already in senior footy, not just from within our club, but for opposition coaches that have spoken about him. It's full credit to him, and as I said, watch this space for Sharon.
What other aspects of the game were you impressed with? Look, clearance work at times was
Yeah.
great. Transition-wise, they probably were doing it better than you, but there were some periods of time when you were able to move the ball nicely from defence.
Yeah, we had good parts of the game. I reckon the difference in the game was they were a little bit more efficient, a bit more often, from back to front. I think they got a few goals out the back when we turned the ball over that were a bit easy. Every time we got a turnover, they either had an extra number or we just didn't quite hit that inside kick, and it wasn't as efficient or as pure as it could have been. But I'll harp on it. We need to learn to try and hit those kicks, and I'm not going to stop them doing it. I praised the boys after the game for their effort again, and they're feeling pretty good about their footy. They know the journey we're on. I asked them at half time, did they want to put the cue in the rack or did they want to rip in again? And I mean, we all saw the second half was pretty impressive. So we've got some work to do, but we'll get there.
In fact, there were those long periods where you were able to lock it in.
Yeah.
So that's the positive.
And that's attitude. That's attitude to set up structurally around the stoppage for Phil Davis as a 17-year-old ruckman to compete and jump in. And as I said, Braden Butler, Brad Simmons, Bo Sharman, those types did a great job around the contest.
Where do you go with Devonport now for the rest of the year? This year you experiment a little bit. I know the last few weeks you're straightening up a little bit through the middle and it doesn't always come off, but do you try some different things or is it just keep it on going?
No, so on that, hitting the ball inside the corridor, we definitely keep going down that path. I mean, we don't have anything to lose in any way, shape or form. We want to continue to take the game on and let the boys experience, right, I can hit that kick, I can't quite hit that one, so next time I won't try and pull the trigger on it, and give them those learning opportunities during a game. And that's really important. I mean, all these successful teams that have had sustained success have had a period where they've been down the bottom and had to grow and develop. We're in that phase at the moment. We've got a great group that's got strong camaraderie. They're very resilient. They love playing footy together. I mean, you heard the music just then. They're very keen to be part of something. But we've got to crawl before we can walk, like I said last week. And learning to hit kicks inside is a tough part of the game.
How tough are the conditions out there? Because they look, obviously, wasn't raining. It looked like
Yeah, it was heavy. Yeah, it was a really heavy deck. And credit to the groundsmen. They did a great job to get it to that standard, given the amount of rain we had in the last few days. And there wasn't any water laying on the ground, but it was a heavy deck. So that made for some heavy ball, which can impact the way you kick it.
You pulled up with one mark. Is there anything there?
Oh yeah, no, we had myself and Dylan, Quaid, a few boys that were a bit sore today, but that's just footy. That's just footy, and you get on with it. And I mean, you go across Australia right now, this time of year, everyone's sore in some part of their body, so be fine, mate.
No injuries out as well?
Geez, you're testing me now. I don't think there's any significant injuries, but there's plenty of sore lads. But that's okay. That's another part of the learning experience of playing senior footy at TSL level and being able to play a full season, and each week's pretty competitive. So actually learning from how you feel after a game is important for the young guys as well.